Drake Maye is going to be an absolute superstar in the NFL, and I have absolutely loved what I've seen from him so far in his sophomore season. He has taken such a massive jump from year one to year two, and I believe that he has everything in front of him, and he will be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caden Kubler, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Drake Maye possesses everything right now that you want to see in a franchise quarterback. He is 6'4", 225 pounds. He's mobile. He's got the big arm. He can make any throw on the football field, but he was raw coming out of college, and that's why he ultimately didn't play a little bit of his rookie year. It was also partially because the offensive line was bad, but it was just a dumpster fire in year one with Jacoby Brissett, so they ultimately threw him into the fire earlier on than a lot of people thought. Showed some flashes, didn't have a great receiving core, but all eyes were on Drake Maye as we headed into year two because, hey, you get Mike Vrabel, who is without a doubt this culture setter, and we'll talk about the impact that he's had on this Patriots team so far, just 4 games in, but Mike Vrabel has been unbelievable to what the Patriots are trying to do so far. They added some weapons, added a little bit to this offense in the draft to really help out Drake Maye, but it's been evident that he has taken this massive year two leap, bigger than a guy like Caleb Williams, bigger than Jaden Daniels, because we really haven't seen him much, bigger than Bo Nix, bigger than Michael Penix Jr. Drake Maye has been the guy that has taken a massive leap, and I think he is going to be an absolute stud in the NFL. The Patriots are 2-2 right now, but he's looked really good over the first 4 games of the season. Drake Maye in weeks 1 through 4 is currently leading the NFL in completion percentage, completing 74% of his passes. He is 6th in total passing yards with 988 passing yards. He's 6th in total touchdowns. He's 3rd in total first down plays. He's 3rd in total EPA per play, and he has the 5th best passer rating in the NFL. And I know we're only 4 weeks in. He hasn't played the best team so far, but regardless, Drake Maye has shown that he will be the guy for the New England Patriots. And I think when I'm evaluating quarterbacks or when I'm looking at quarterbacks, you want to see them show flashes without the great weapons, without the big weapons that they have on the outside. And a few guys that I can think of are Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Look at Lamar. He never had the great weapons, but he was still playing at an MVP caliber level. Finally got some weapons, was winning MVP. Same thing with Josh Allen. He never had that go-to weapon on the outside. He got Stephon Diggs. He took that major leap in his career, and I think that's what's ultimately going to be the biggest beneficiary for Drake Maye when his career progresses, because I hate to say it right now, Stephon Diggs hasn't been this true number 1 receiver on the outside that everyone expected to be. Now, he just had a really solid game, his best game with New England against the Carolina Panthers, but before that, he really wasn't this true dominant outside threat that everyone expected from him so far. He's leading the team in receiving yards right now, and he's also leading the team in receptions, but I think as of right now, if you can go out and get Drake Maye, a true number 1 wide receiver, a top 10 receiver, top 15 receiver, it is over for the league. And I ultimately agree with the decision that Mike Vrabel made, going with Will Campbell 4th overall. And we've seen this a lot in the NFL when you have a new coach that comes in. Look at Dan Campbell. He drafts Penei Sewell to lock down ultimately that tackle spot for Jared Goff. The same thing with Jim Harbaugh. He comes in to the Chargers. He gets Joe Alt at the tackle spot to lock down that blind side for Justin Herbert. And we see now Mike Vrabel doing the exact same thing. You go out and you take that franchise tackle to establish your culture early on when you become a head coach with a team. We saw it with Dan Campbell. Look at what he's doing now. 15 wins with the Lions last season. They've been a perennial contender since he got there. Jim Harbaugh, they win 11 games last year. They have a great lead in the AFC West 4 games into the season. Nobody's questioning whether they're a contender or not. We see Mike Vrabel doing this now. I think that's a great blueprint, especially if you have your franchise quarterback, which, newsflash, the Patriots do. You go out and get Will Campbell, a true lockdown tackle on the blind side for Drake Maye. That's going to make the biggest difference in the world for years to come. And I think on the other side, you can go back and look at some other teams that have had the opportunity to take that franchise tackle, and they went with a receiver, and it hasn't necessarily gone the way they wanted it to. Look at the Arizona Cardinals. They ultimately went with Marvin Harrison Jr. instead of getting Joe Alt when they had the opportunity to, and they've been struggling a little bit. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. I understand Jamar Chase is the best receiver in football, and he's going to go down as one of the best receivers, but you can't keep Joe Burrow healthy. It doesn't matter who he's throwing the ball to if you can't keep him healthy. And they didn't take the franchise tackle early on. A lot of people criticize that. So I respect what Mike Vrabel is doing in New England. I think they've got a great thing brewing, and this is ultimately going to help out Drake Maye so much. I mean, I know we're only 4 weeks into the season, but it's hard to not get excited about him. This is why everybody was so excited about him when he was coming out of college. He had the big frame, he had the big arm, he was mobile. That's the modern day blueprint for quarterbacks. You're looking for a guy that has the big arm. You're looking for the big quarterback who is mobile, aka the Josh Allens of the world, the Justin Herberts of the world, the Trevor Lawrences of the world. That is what Drake Maye was drafted to be. That is why he went so high in the draft. And now we're seeing what he's doing on the football field in only year 2. He didn't even play his entire rookie season. We're only 4 weeks into his sophomore season, and he's already taking this type of a jump with really no true number 1 wide receiver on the outside. I think the Patriots will be a contender, and they will be contending in the AFC East for years to come. The only thing I will say is I don't feel like it's going to be this year where they really take that massive jump in terms of being a contender. Now, yes, they're taking a big jump from last year just because they were a dumpster fire with Drake Maye, and I really do believe that they are a good football team and they're building in the right direction. But in terms of them contending for the AFC East or them even getting into the postseason, I think it's going to be really tough. You've got a lot of great teams in the AFC, but they do have a lot of winnable games on this schedule. I think right now, if you're the New England Patriots, similar to even the Chicago Bears with how tough the NFC is and how tough that division is, I think if you're the New England Patriots, you've got to feel great going 9-8 this season, even 8-9, knowing that, hey, we've got a franchise tackle. We've got a franchise quarterback. We've got a tremendous running back in Travion Henderson. We've got a lot of great pieces on defense. And more importantly, we have a head coach that is setting a brilliant culture for this franchise. And we feel great about where we are. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to happen in year 1. And I know everybody wants it to happen in year 1 because that's what we've been seeing in the NFL with some of these teams. When you look at the Commanders last year having this crazy turnaround, or when you see the Texans 2 years ago do it, where they have this crazy turnaround. I don't think we're going to see that from the New England Patriots this year in terms of that type of turnaround where they go on a run and win a playoff game or even win 2 playoff games. But that's not to say that this season is not successful if they don't win 8 or 9 games, because it absolutely is. This is a more than successful season knowing that you can win 8 or 9 games. You've got all of those franchise pieces on this team. Now you're moving forward and you have legitimate expectations to contend in the AFC. I'm Caden Kubler, and thank you guys for watching.